Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at day 18 of our 31 perfect albums. So, as I said in many episodes, um, we're having fun, damn it, and we're going to continue to have fun with these episodes. So, I am joined again by my illustrious co-host. How's it going, Bill?
Doing great, Armando. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing all right, doing all right. You know me, cool, calm, and collected, right? Doing okay. How's it going, Ken?
Going well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And the man of the hour. Sorry, said I was going to say that again, but there you go. I lied. Jim Bricker, how you doing, Jim?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Uh, Good to know. Good to know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we have arrived at day 18 of our 31 perfect albums. So without further ado, I will pass the virtual mic down to Bill, and he'll give us his pick for day 18.
Thank you, Armando. In our previous episode, I was in 1980 and had a very commercial, not so deep pick. I'm going to 1983 for more of the same. This is no one's critical favorite once again. It did have three hits, but I think except for people who were alive at the time, no one knows them. One of them was a cover of a Burt Bacharach, Hal David classic. All the rest of the songs were originals. This is, in essence, a two-man band. Well, a singer and a keyboard player. They are augmented by other musicians on this album. It's the debut self-titled album from Naked Eyes.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
Uh, this very much sounds like 1983. There's an
yes,
array
it
of
does.
keyboards that Rob Fisher uses on here. It's the Fairlight CMI, the Synclavier 2, PPG Wave 2.2, Emulator, OBXA, Prophet 5, Grand Piano, and Harpsichord. So,
Well,
yeah.
Put the harpsichord in there, of course.
something
Yeah.
for grandma.
The biggest hit was, of course, the cover song, Always Something There to Remind Me, but they also had a pretty big hit with Promises, Promises, and a smaller hit with When the Lights Go Out.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a very brief moment in 1983 where I actually considered this my favorite album. So I still have a soft spot for it. It's very of its time. It's very much a time capsule, and that's one of the things I love about it. That it can transport me right back to there. It clearly could not have come out in any other era. Pete Byrne is a strong vocalist, and of course Rob Fisher works wonders with his array of keyboards. Though at the time I bought the album, I bought it on cassette, and it did not have credits.
Mm,
And I did not know they were augmented by other musicians, so I was super impressed by Rob, thinking that he literally did every sound on the album other than Rob's vocals. That's not the case. So my estimation went down just slightly, but he still does a great job anyway. Yeah, they're augmented by some drums, horns, sax, flute, bass guitar, Simmons drums, and Linn programming. So, yeah, all very 1983.
Yeah.
Yeah, this it's just another one of those feel good albums. It's and another one I want to sing along with every single song, just like the Cliff Richard album that I mentioned previously. So yeah, another one I do not expect to be on anyone else's favorites list other than people who have a soft spot for it like I do. So Naked Eyes.
Another band with only two major albums.
Yeah. And the second one was not very successful.
No, but I still love it.
Yeah.
And trivia question, the two artists from Naked Eyes and the two artists, primary artists from Tears for Fears, were in a band. We're all in a band together.
Graduate.
They broke out.
really?
Yep.
Graduate.
You can find a couple of you can find a recording of a couple of the songs on YouTube.
That
And it
sounds
kind of
really
makes
intriguing.
sense if you think about it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was saying, I do believe the band is called Graduate.
Okay. I don't remember.
Don't quote me on that, but good choice, Bill. Good choice. Interesting choice. I've seen that
Yeah.
album in secondhand stores. The one that used to be open here, it's like $3.99. Should I get it? No, I didn't get it, but
It's surely worth $3.99.
Oh yeah. I wore my copy out in the day. Absolutely.
okay. Good choice. All right, Ken, your choice.
Okay, my choice, still in 1982, and it falls very close in style with Naked Eyes. Discovered both of those bands through MTV, and this is the band The Fix
Oh yeah.
and their debut
Mm.
album, Shuttered Room.
Oh,
I
yes.
didn't realize how many debut albums I had on my list till we got into this. Yeah, I heard Stand or Fall, and that just grabbed me so hard that it's like, okay, I've got to forget the single. I want to just get the album. Like a lot of artists that were big on U2, the albums didn't particularly do well in sales. This one only peaked at 133 in the US, but still, it came out with 4 really great singles. Stand or Fall, Lost Plains, Some People, and of course, Red Skies.
Yeah.
Good new wave, catchy tunes and hooks. Great guitar work by Jamie West Oram. I just really love the guitar on these first 2 or 3 albums by The Fix. Again, it's got the new wave feel. This is a little bit more of the jumping kind of dancing rather than the ass shaking album, but that's okay too. I need all the exercise I can get. But
There's room for any type of
Reach it.
album.
yeah, and this is another album. As a guitar player, I like one of the reasons I like the guitar is he's playing a Fender Stratocaster, which is my favorite guitar and guitar tone, and his playing is very unique. When I can't think of any other guitarist that really plays with his style, and it's to me it's another one of these perfect feel good albums. I'll put this album on when I kind of wanting to get the blood flowing a little bit. The Fix, Shuttered Room.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with any of those early Fix albums. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. Okay, Jim, your
Me.
pick?
So,
As he flips his hair. Yes. I'd
uh,
flip my hair to you if I had it.
Oh, thank
you.
you just totally derailed me. Oh,
Sorry.
well,
Sorry.
my own damn fault. I'm getting a
It's-
haircut tomorrow, y'all.
It's
So,
okay. It's okay, Mr. Hanson. It's okay.
So Bill started us off with 83 today. Ken had us at 82. I'm going to be in 1981, but unlike my 2 wonderful companions, I think I have an album from 81 that is really can stand outside of time. Obviously, Naked Eyes really dated, but it's cool. Shuttered Room has got a lot of 80s things to it,
Yep.
with the keyboard sounds and whatnot.
Yep.
But mine from 81, I think you could put it on today and someone would just be like, not only what in the heck is this, but very hard to place. We've talked about a lot of albums that it's like, oh yeah, that's very much in the psychedelic era, or this is in very early 70s folk or whatnot. But this one, I think, beats all of the time bounds that you can put around an album. It's been talked about before. It's Discipline by King Crimson.
I've
Again,
heard that before. Okay, go on.
yes, exactly, because our illustrious host elucidated on it quite well.
Oh, you flatter me. Go ahead.
Well, that's why I'm here. Robert Fripp, Adrian Belew, Tony Levin, Bill Bruford. Just unlike anything else that was out there. I mean, you can hear little bits of Talking Heads in it, but still quite different from it. You can hear little bits of Fripp's previous band, the League of Gentlemen, in this, but again, it kind of takes it to a whole nother level. Every one of these musicians plays at their talent just almost can't be equal. They're the titans of their instruments in different ways. I mean, nobody plays like Tony Levin. Nobody plays like Bill Bruford. Certainly nobody plays like Adrian Belew or Robert Fripp. I mean, these guys kind of write the book on playing their instruments, and they're combining these elements together, was lightning in a bottle. This was the first, as Armando said, this is the first of 3 albums that they would record together as a quartet, and they're all really good. But Discipline kind of stands head and shoulders above the other two. Yeah, from the completely sort of atmospheric ballad of Mate Kudasai to this insane, cross picking. I don't even know how to begin to describe frame by frame, in terms of its shifting time signatures and just the interlocking cross picking guitars that are going on between Fripp and Belew. Thela Hujinji you talked about, which is an ass shaker. And, again, we've kind of talked about how it's quite a simple rhythm, like a very simple bass part, but it's just so effective. You can't really help but move your backside on that one. Yeah, like words fail from here on in. I'll just feel like I would be repeating myself, but yeah, King Crimson, Discipline, 1981. That is my 18th pick for perfect albums.
That is a good pick. It is a good pick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to end off this fantastic episode, I will give you my pick for day 18. We are jumping to 1984. This is the Canadian contingent for this series for me. We are going with Del Bello with Who Man Force Has, which is a play on the phrase human forces. This is Lisa Del Bello revamping her style, her look, her musical approach. She had signed a deal after being dropped by MCA in the 70s. She had signed a deal with Capitol EMI, had released one album called Drastic Measures in 1981, worked with Bob Estey as a producer. That didn't work. She also co-wrote songs with Bryan Adams for the album. It didn't work. The album didn't do much. She took a 3-year break off and decided to revamp and rethink her approach to music and what she wanted to say. She, in the interim, was contacted by Mick Ronson, guitarist extraordinaire, arranger, who worked with David Bowie. Most notably, he's produced albums for other Canadian artists like the Payolas and produced albums for Morrissey. He approached her about doing some work together. He saw her on a documentary for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation and thought, we need to work together. And this album is the only theme that I can come up with for this album is the theme of the human condition. Okay? Told from the female perspective. Harder edged, 9 tracks in total, but a harder edge approach. The only 2 musicians on this album are Del Bello on drums and bass, and Mick Ronson on keyboards and guitar. Starts off with the atmospheric, eerie, Gonna Get Close to You. Okay? And basically what she's saying in this one song is, if only you get to know me, you'd like me. Right? Just please get to know me. Please get to know me. needy as she is, she means business. I'm sorry. She's just it's all over the place. Her mindset on that song is like, I'm behind you, like, you're gonna see me eventually, kind of thing. It's kind of eerie. Then it goes into the track Devious Nature, which basically talks about women's role in society and marriage and how they're supposed to be dutiful and obeying their husband and being a virgin on their wedding night, kind of thing, right? Like meek. And this is not Del Bello, ladies and gentlemen, believe me. Then it goes into She Pretends, which follows the same kind of themes. Very hard hitting, a lot of use of I guess you call them brass synths, like using the keyboards for brass parts. Wait for an Answer, which ends off side one, which again, it's a track about a relationship and how she feels she's being neglected or taken for granted by the person that she wants to be in the relationship with. This track was covered. Wait for an Answer was covered by Heart for their 1987 album Bad Animals. Going back to Gonna Get Close to You, that was covered by Queensryche for their release in '86. Rage to Order. Side 2 starts off with Animal. Very tribal drums, very rhythmic, but very tribal in terms of its approach, in terms of the arrangement, featuring backup and co-lead vocals by Carol Pope from Rough Trade. People in the US, and Carol Pope is a legend in Canada in terms of her work with Rough Trade and her advocacy for the LGBTQ2+ community. Animal is followed up by Cardinal Sin, which is a blistering attack on the Catholic Church. Okay, it is just brutal. Okay, the hypocrisy and the backstabbing quality of the Catholic Church. Guilt by Association is next, and it's basically all programmed percussion and keyboards, but it's basically done in a spoken word format where one person is able to reduce your self-worth to nothing with one word or one sentence. Okay. Very moving. Very moving. Next track is called Path of Least Resistance, which focuses on a child being victim of incest and has no control over it. Excuse me. Track 9 is a track called Target, My Eyes Are Aimed at You, where it's basically what I'm getting when I've known of this album for years. I'm still trying to figure this track out, but when I'm getting on first, like on the top of everything, just a cursory listen, is that this woman is in a relationship. They both know that they're being that they're acting destructively in the relationship, but neither one of them is going to be the first one to say they made a mistake. Okay. I'm not moving until you are, and I've got my eyes on you, and I'm not letting you out of my sights. And it is 6 minutes and 40 some odd seconds of just gut-wrenching vocals and just emotion. Lisa DeBello is a multi-instrumentalist. She is one of Canada's hidden gems. She is retired from recording because she feels that the record companies do not treat women as they treat men, and she was tired of it. She couldn't put up with it anymore. If you can find this album on import, it's on Capitol EMI. If you can find it on import, get it. If you can find it on YouTube, which you can, listen to it. It is 9 tracks of sheer perfection. Her vocals, she can, in terms of her vocal ability, she can be very soft and emotive, but she could crack your ribs with an F sharp like no one's business. And the emotion, the rawness, the emotion is all wrapped up in these 9 songs. So please listen to this album. She needs to be praised more than she's been so far. So that is my choice for day 18 of our 31 perfect albums.
Today I learned. Okay.
Yeah, this is perfection. This is really perfection. Just a very quick note. She was going to work with Mick Ronson for the follow-up to this, which was called She in 1987. He unfortunately was banned from the Capitol Records building in LA because they wanted him to work with Tina Turner. I think it was going to be for a private affair, I think it was. But he showed up for one of his meetings with them intoxicated. So they basically banned him from the building, and she was going to work with him. Dabella was going to work with him on follow-up She, but they didn't want they forbid her to do it. So she started to work on demos for what was going to become She, and she came up with a pseudonym, Bill DeSalo or something like that she's working with this guy. First of all, they didn't want her to produce her own demos because they didn't think she was good enough to produce her own records. How dare a woman work on her own music and produce it? So she came up with a pseudonym. She played these demos, about 4 of them, and with this co-producer. Oh, we love what you're doing. Please do it. Please continue. Please continue. And then she admitted to Dean Cameron, who was the A&R guy at Capitol, that she was in fact Bill DeSale. Right? She made up the name, and he burst out laughing. He was, you know what? Go for it. Just do it. Who cares? You know what you're doing. These are fantastic. Just do it. And once the Capitol realized that there was nobody with that name, they had already pressed the album. They couldn't, or agreed to have it pressed. They couldn't back out. So anyways, that's my rant for today. Ladies and gentlemen, day 18, those are our choices. I want to thank everybody on the panel for helping me out with this episode and with this series. It's been fantastic so far. Hopefully I didn't bore anyone with my choice. Ladies and gentlemen, please put in the comments down below your choice for day 18, and please let us know how we're doing with this series. We enjoy doing this, but it's no good if you guys don't enjoy what we're doing. I mean, we'll still do it, obviously, but we'd like to know your feedback. So I want to thank Bill, Ken, and Jim for joining me on this great adventure, and we will see you soon for episode 19 of 31 Perfect Albums. Have a good day.